Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of the entire Islamic Development Bank and His Excellency the President of the Bank, it is my privilege and great pleasure to welcome you to the 13th Youth Development Forum. Let me begin by acknowledging a shared truth. We are living in an era marked by profound global transition. But while uncertainty may define the mood of our times, it need not define their outcome. For uncertainty is not an end state, it is a threshold, a signal that transformation is not only possible, but necessary. In this evolving global landscape, young people are not merely responding to change, they are driving it. They are making the change. And now, is this more evident than across our 57 member countries, where nearly 30%, حوالي الثلث, 1/3 of the population of the world's youth live. And by 2050, 1/3 of the world global youth will be in our member countries. This is not simply a demographic trend, it is a strategic inflection point. The decisions we make today about education, about employment, and economic inclusion will shape the competitiveness, the cohesion, and the stability of our societies for generations to come. The theme of this year's forum is future-ready skills and solutions for youth employability. Speaks directly to the imperative. It reminds us that preparing for the future of the work is not a technical exercise, but a development requirement. One that calls for integrating systems capable of translating talent into productivity, translating aspiration into agency, translating innovation into long-term value. At the Islamic Development Bank, we are proud to contribute to this agenda through meaningful and measurable actions. In 2023, over 25,000 people were employed through IDB-supported projects across member countries and Muslim communities in non-member countries. That same year, new projects were approved with the potential to generate nearly 500,000 jobs. In 2024, more than 2 million individuals saw improvements in their income levels as a result of our interventions, spanning from youth-led micro and small and medium enterprises in Tunisia, for example, to labor-intensive infrastructure projects in countries like Egypt, Senegal, and Turkey. These are not isolated indicators. They are part of a deliberate strategy, one that recognizes youth as a single sector, but as a cross-cutting engine for growth, resilience, and renewal. But numbers alone do not build systems that require vision and partnership, because we cannot build the future we seek by working in silos. Today's challenge demands cross-sectoral approaches and youth-centered leadership. Yes, youth-centered leadership. I'm glad His Excellency the Minister and the ministers actually are much younger than me, and I'm lecturing them here, so forgive me for that. The leadership really need to be with the youth, and not as participants, but really as co-architects of the solutions that will define their world that they will live in. As someone who began his career and his journey in an institution as a young professional many, many years ago in IDB, I have witnessed firsthand what's possible when institutions are intentional about inclusion, and we can see this in the governments also. And when belief in the youth is not just a policy, but a principle in motion. As we open this distinguished panel, I encourage us to reflect on 3 fundamental questions. First, how can we design employment ecosystems that are proactive by anticipating structural shifts rather than merely reacting to disruptions, and ecosystems that not only produce jobs, not for employment, for employability. So the youth will be always adaptable to change with the shifting changes of technology and the other environment driving. And we need to talk about decent jobs, as per the SDG number 8, not any jobs, jobs that are seasonal or low-paying jobs, not sustainable. We need to think of decent, sustainable jobs, and these are the ecosystems that we need to create. Second, what will it take to reposition the youth not only as beneficiaries of policy, but as co-authors of the development pathways that shape their futures? And third, how do we ensure that the tools and opportunities for future readiness are equitably distributed, becoming not a privilege for the few in some of the rich countries or the rich pockets in a country, but a foundation for all young people across our member countries? And let us also remember the youth in the fragile countries of our member countries. Many countries, unfortunately, of the Muslim world suffer from fragility, and the youth are suffering in a huge way. And just to mention, we can remember Palestine, Al-Habiba. May Allah raise the suffering from Palestine. So let us use this forum to explore the possibility of a new path, one where youth employability stands as the driving force behind inclusive growth, structural transformation, and lasting resilience for the future that is already here. Thank you very much. وبالله التوفيق والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.